Hello, my mimics, and welcome back to the Mimic Commentary, episode 58. I think this is episode 58. And this one, I think, is going to be a lot of fun because we are going to go to the study hall, the Carian Study Hall. What is special about this level is, I've been doing a lot of foreshadowing on we see the hooded statues and we say they're Radigan statues, the hooded Radigan, the statue of hooded Radigan before he becomes, a Golden Order. I don't know if I've said this yet in the Mimic Commentary, but there's two eras of Radigan, like Radigan as the Elden Lord, and Radigan before that. There's the Starcaller pose, as we're going to be calling it right now, because we have no better word for it, where his arms are outstretched, and I need to up the intelligence. We're going to have a funky build. It's going to be a funky build. There, his arms outstretched like he's a Starcaller, and then there's these hooded statues. Now, I hope that doesn't... Sorry, I'm using one hand. I'm trying to get up the last videos. I think someone left a few comments I wanted to answer while we were riding along. So, there's this enduring mystery, I think, for who's this guy? He appears everywhere. I think the only person to ever have named him, like that statue, like the only person I can remember is Tarnished Archaeologist. Tarnished Archaeologist calls him, I think, like the saint, like the sword saint or something like that. Like he talks about like there's an era before the Erd Tree calls like the saint era or something. I don't know. I don't really know what the... Oh, hey. Didn't know this was here. A Frenzy Flamestone. Uh-oh, we're getting a little mad. Holy moly, I didn't know that was here. Good thing we backtrack. Frenzy Flamestone from this guy. Oh yeah, so Tarnished Archaeologist says like he's like this mythical figure maybe, and I think it's Radigan. And this episode we're actually going to go look through that. All right, so Frenzy Flamestone, it has the same sigil as the Frenzy Flame, the Flame of Frenzy spell, which builds madness, incantation originating from the maddening three fingers. So what is the Frenzy spell? Ruin fragment blessed with an incantation of the three fingers, used to generate warmth, continuously restoring the HP of those who host the frenzied flame. So you have to have the frenzy flame within you. Confess madness upon to those who have not adopted the flame. Take care not to mistake it for its gentler cousin. And its gentler cousin must be the Warming Stone. Aha, they're right next to each other. Same thing. Which one's the mimic? Ruined fragment into Frenzy Flamestone or into Warming Stone. You can actually use a little bit of fire on the stone. So if you're already hosting the Frenzy Flame, you will not build madness. But if you have the Frenzy Flame, it warms you, so even more madness. That's interesting. We're actually, good thing we have our blindfold on. We won't have to see anything that'll get us too mad. But yeah, this is going to be a very exciting episode. I think the Carian Study Hall has a lot of cool stuff. And I think we're going to do a lot of fun theorizing in there. Then after that, we're going to do the Well, which also has this one. This also has a lot of cool stuff. I think I had some comments I wanted to respond to. Danko said, why are the mausoleums... Danko asked, why are the mausoleums even walking? And I think I may have mentioned it in the first time we saw a Wandering Mausoleum, but just to reiterate, they have ghost flame skulls on their, what do you call it? Like their legs, and it's that which is animating them. Oh, I didn't know there was a grace right here. Excellent. It's that ghost flame that's animating the mausoleums. I think we actually have a note that mentions it. To stop the mausoleum stride, you'll need to clean up around its feet first. Yeah, okay, but it doesn't say what it is. But it has that black and white ghost flame. And that kind of makes me think that the ghost flame is animating the rock and the stone. We will find evidence way later in the game, I think, probably Shadow of the Erd Tree, that will probably proved the point that there is a way to invoke like the power of spirits into inanimate objects like stones. I mean, we kind of already have evidence with that kind of now. If we think about, we can't craft any of the crystal darts yet, so maybe I can't prove that yet. Well, how about we think about it this way: the imp golems and the golems that we fight that have like the giant arrows. How are they alive? There's the golems. Generally, they have fire in their stomachs, so maybe that's supposed to say, the fire is animating them. But then, how does fire like build this like artificial life? There has to be some type of like mechanism that is giving not just life to these machines, but also intelligence. And perhaps it's some type of soul magic, as seen with the Ghost Flame. Anything else? Was there another comment that I want to ask to? Oh, I mentioned something about the Arteria leaves. Yeah, I think we'll do a recap episode on the Arteria leaves. Someone in Scummage Infa's Discord told me to tie Arteria leaves to Radigan and look at where they pop up. And that could be something interesting, because they're red. And was that it? I was talking about, like, are the ancestral followers worshiping the tree, the minor Erd tree, or they worshiping the avatar? The ancestral followers just keep their distance from the Erd tree, awaiting new buds. So, these guys I don't think they know the Erd tree avatars are tied to the Erd tree. Before we go into the study hall, we could see that it's well, can't really see right now, it's very foggy. The study hall is connected to the Divine Tower. From here we could see it has the same hooded sword statues that we saw in the last Divine Tower. It has the same brickwork. Very similar. I mean, the bricks are smaller in the study hall. Geez, I gotta let me fast travel, because it being foggy is like making it hard to look at this stuff. Alright, excellent. We need a clear day. Maybe I can get the Fire Monk stuff. Oh, much more beautiful. Much better. Alright, let's see if we can get lucky and get one of his items to drop. Oh, geez. Unless he's gonna actually just kill me. Okay. So, just like the other Divine Tower, we have different architecture here. The Divine Tower is obviously much older than this material here. If we remember in Stormvale Castle, there was paintings of Stormhill before Stormvale Castle was made, or the Chapel Anticipation, or the bridge to the Divine Tower, I think. Or maybe the Divine Tower had the bridge. I'm not sure. The Divine Tower is there before the other structures. And what's different here, we also have, let's see, those look like gargoyles at the top. They don't look like people. But here we have the hooded Radigan holding a book. Yeah, those look like actual gargoyles. And Stormvale Castle is a woman holding libation. Anything else on the front before we go in? Yeah, so we have the same man with the sword is built on the same building, is built in the same fashion, but with a book. And at the Church of Vows, we found the same hooded man with holding a torch. Radigan has red hair, and if we want to tie red to fire, we could do something like that. But let's see who built this tower, and then I think we'll get answers on who that guy is. This is one of the pieces of evidence for the hooded statues being Radigan. And here we can see Jarburg. Jarburg is hidden behind the Carian Study Hall. Maybe that indicates some knowledge that the Carians have. Let's see, what else do we have here? Anything interesting here? A lot of flower motif. So when was the Carian Study Hall constructed? Well, before we talk to this ghost, before we look around, let's sit down. Let's make sure we have this all together. So we're curious, when was this built? Who was it built by? Well, we know that from Muriel, Radigan came from the Erd Tree with a golden host, went to war with Renala twice, ended the war with a marriage. Renala is the queen of the full moon. She is head of the Carians, and she leads the academy. Radagon, just a champion, fighting for the Erd Tree. Inside this building, we immediately get a relief of the Erd Tree with a moon in front of it. So it looks like this place, and it kind of looks like, if it's a study hall, but it kind of is set up like a church a little bit. Like it has pews and stuff, but maybe this could be for what do you call it? Not a sermon, but like a lecture. Like, this could be, someone could come in and walk straight into a lecture here. Instead of being able to put a person here, we have the moon. What do we have on here? The moon is being held up by what looks like a few beasts. How many toes do they have? 3 toes. Uh-oh, 3 is a bad omen in the lands between. 3 toes, bad omen in the lands between. Or 3 digits. Don't know what type of beast that is. I don't know if that... It kind of looks like a dog nose. Maybe it's a dog. Can't tell. What do we have here? Gems? I don't know. What about around here? Doesn't look like anything crazy, but we have the moon. Okay. The moon is put in front of the Erd Tree. This one's mobile. You can move this thing around. Can't break it though. This isn't. So to me, it tells me that this tower, this study hall, was constructed by people aligned with the Erd Tree. So I'm assuming that the study hall was crafted after Radagon married Renala, because it has the Erd Tree here. And then, Radagon's an Erd Tree guy, but Renala's his moon wife. They bring the moon in here. We don't know when this was put here. Anyone could put this here. One thing about Carian stuff, one moment. When we first met Roger, he taught us some Ashes of War. Which Ashes of War did he teach us? Where are they? He taught us Glintstone Pebble. He taught us Carian Greatsword. This is the Carian Royal Prestige embodied in a skill. And he also taught us Spinning Weapon, which is a defensive skill employed by Carian princesses. So Roger knew skills of Carian princesses and the Carian Royal Knights. And he said that they were conceived at the Great Academy of Raya Lucaria. In the past, they obeyed laws which contravened the Golden Order, or so I'm told. Or so I'm told. In the past, they obeyed laws which contravened the Golden Order, or so I'm told. Fascinating, isn't it? That the Golden Order was pliable enough to absorb practices that contradicted itself in the past. Okay. In the last few episodes, we did Black Knife Catacombs, and we got our... Where is our Black Knife print? We got our Black Knife print. Roger is trying to understand the Night of the Black Knives. Fia is trying to get some information about the Night of the Black Knives. D doesn't like those who live in death. After giving him the Black Knife print, Roger says that the person who orchestrated the Night of Black Knives, where Godwyn the Golden was murdered, which was the catalyst for causing the shattering of the Elden Ring, was orchestrated by Lunar Princess Ranni, daughter of Radagon and Renala. Okay. What's this ghost have to say? O celestial globe, transmit to posterity the wisdom of the moon and stars, and obscure forever the transgressions of the princess. Oh, okay. So by looking at this guy, what does he look like to you? Who does he look like? Well, if we look at our ashes, this is a noble sorcerer. Spirit of a nobleman who once asked to be given a place at Raya Lucaria to learn glintstone sorceries. His talents were insufficient to be worthy of donning the stone crown. Nobles, do we have where nobles come from? I think, let's see, just from what he's wearing the noble with the cloak and high quality garb adorned with fine golden embroidery, travel attire worn by nobles in the capital, terribly faded and tattered. Abandoning their birthplace after the shattering, these undead wanderers are pitiful products of unending life. Okay, so this guy comes from the capital. He comes from the capital, but he He worships the moon and the stars, not the Erd Tree. If he came from the capital, most likely I'm assuming he's aligned with Radagon. But now we're seeing conversion. We're seeing nobles from the capital who came to the Academy of Raya Lucaria, possibly with Radagon, are not worshipping the Erd Tree anymore. They're worshipping the moon and stars. We might be able to deduce that the same may have happened with Radagon. You know, if some nobles from the capital are converting from Erd Tree worship to moon worship, Radagon could have been the same way. You know, we don't know much about Radagon. But he marries this woman, and they have 3 children together. You know, Rogier confirms that Radon and Rykard are Ranni's siblings. And the last line he says, "And obscure forever the transgressions of the princess." So the moon is obscuring the transgression of the princess. The moon. All right, so we have to ask. So he says that obscure forever the transgressions of the princess. Inside here, it shows the moon with the Erd Tree behind it. You know, the Erd Tree is kind of like the main light source in the Lands Between. Is the moon eclipsing the Erd Tree right here? Like, there's no light of the Erd Tree coming down this way. It's getting blocked by the moon, causing an eclipse. But, you know, the question is he talking about that actual moon? Or is he talking about, the moon disappeared? All right, so you go inside, the moon disappears. Maybe that's what it is. But the moon is supposed to be behind the Erd Tree. Let's just take a teleport. Is he talking about the moon inside the study hall, or is he talking about this moon? Is this moon obscuring the transgressions of the princess? You know, we don't know much about this full moon yet. So that's a question to ask. Is he talking about that moon or the globe? And another thing that's very interesting. This guy is a noble of the capital, and he's talking about who studied at the academy, who converted from Erd Tree worship to moon worship, knows about the transgressions of the princess. Is he talking about the Knight of Black Knives? Does he know that Ranni orchestrated the Knight of Black Knives, killing Godwyn the Golden? An event which gave rise to Deathroot. And Deathroot, probably not too good for a tree. You know, it's Deathroot. It's the root of death. It's the rune of death spreading through the great tree roots. That doesn't seem too good. Doesn't seem too good. And then we come inside and look at here. Here's how we get some. Who could have built this? Well, this is where I think this guy's Radagon, because this is a Erd Tree era building. You know, the Erd Tree folks use their money to build this place. But it's littered with a bunch of, you know, moon and celestial stuff. Look, we got celestial globes, tons of books, like a wizard tower. These people are studying the stars and the moon. But it looks like this research was funded by the Erd Tree Capital. And we get this guy, the same statue we find in the Church of Vows, but holding a torch. Radagon has red hair. You know, maybe him. If we're looking at that Church of Vows, we got that one statue that behind Muriel, which is like a statue of Velka from Dark Souls 3. Then we get a statue from the Eternal Cities that we found before, and the dams in Shifa River, and then we just get this guy. So, I'm thinking this guy's Radagon. Let's see if we can find more of his statues. Oh, but we gotta jump through the window. Alright. The hell is this? Jesus. What? Okay, so this goes into some water. And we got hands. Disembodied hands. Now, the only thing with a lot of fingers, 1, 2 minute count. Oh, lots of warts, too. Yuck. And they're detached. Oh my goodness, what the hell is this? Alright, a lot of weird stuff going in the study hall. So in this area, in Liurnia, we found where is it? We found the Two Fingers heirloom. You know, the Two Fingers kind of looks like, what is that, like a chromosome? Yeah, the two fingers kind of look like a chromosome in this image. Fingers cannot speak. If they're eloquent, persistently do they wriggle. These have fingers. Are they related to the fingers in some way? The fingers are a disembodied hand with only two fingers. This has more. Throw a fireball at him. And he jumps into the water. How about you? Excellent. Okay. So, the Carian Study Hall has hands on the wall, and the only hands we know about so far are the fingers. The fingers are a covert thing. They're mostly related to the Tarnish. They want the Tarnish to be Elden Lord. They want the demigods to be killed. We know Radigan becomes the Elden Lord. We don't know where he is. So, do they want us to kill Radigan if we find him? I don't know. Okay. This study hall is massive. They got a lot of books. Very seat the scale is going on in here. A lot of madness. Imagine you read these books, you got a lot of madness. So, why are they making these repeat statues? And then we have them with the book. You know, this is where I'm like, yeah, this, I don't know, it just feels like it has to be Radigan. Right? Who's another masculine figure involved with the Carians that would be in a study hall with a bunch of, like, with that Erd tree symbol in the front? He has the sword. He was a champion who fought against Renala in 2 wars. And then, if it's his study hall, of course he's going to have a book. He's learning. And in the hood... The hood reminds me of hiding one's identity, and you could put on a veil. Well, a veil's kind of like a hood. Oh, look, I'm a tree. Bach was a tree. I don't know if that's relevant. I don't know if that's relevant. Wink, wink. Okay, what's going on in here? What are the hands up to? All right. These puppets are tied to the Carians, and they look like, what's that hat? Do we have that hat? Aristocrats. So, aristocrats from the capital turned into puppets by the Carians. We know these are the Carians because these guys were fighting against the Cuckoo soldiers. They have white blood, very spiritual, so it looks like the souls of the... what would you call it? The souls of the aristocrats are turned into the puppets, and the hands weren't fighting against them. So I'm assuming the hands are allied, like these hands are allied with the Carians. Smithing stones. Uh-oh. All right, now we're getting really wild. The frickin' hands are dropping somber smithing stones. Why do I have somber smithing stones? So far we've been theorizing that smithing stones, somber smithing stones, this is a mimic smithing stone because it's colorless. Our other mimics so far, we have Dukist herba, mushroom, and melted mushrooms, and regular mushrooms. Maybe Trina lilies and Michaelis lilies. I don't know. But yeah, and not to mention, larval tears, core of a creature, larval tears, core of a creature of mimicry known as a silver tear. So, giving me a little, and I forgot, our mimic fireballs. And where's our mimic fireballs? Black flame. Looks like flame sling. Nearly 1 for 1. Just doesn't have color. What else? We were also theorizing that the Carians could be mimics as well, because Renala has the larval tear. You need using the amber egg cradled by Renala, Queen of the Full Moon. You can use a larval tear to rebirth people. And the oracle bubbles and the ambush shards both have the Celia symbol on them, and the Carian sigil looks like the Celian sigil. Except instead of that throne, there's just a floral relief in the background. And you can actually look it might be hard to see. The maybe I could find an overlay. Here, look at the. I want to make. I don't think you could really see it that well in this one. Yeah, it's not very hard to see, but the runes are flipped between them. So we're kind of theorizing right now that the Carians might be mimics. And in this area, we also found the Nox Mirror Helm. So perhaps, yeah, that's what we're working with. Oh man, it's a lot of stuff. So are the hands mimics of other hands? But why would they? No, that. What would they be mimicking? I don't know. Uh-oh. All right. Magic Great Bow definitely allied with the Carians because the Carian magic is making swords. So, of course you would make... Carian magic would also make bows. And they're a preceptor. Preceptors are like teachers. So, the preceptor of the study hall guarding their secrets from an outsider. Oh, and Miriam vanished. Where'd she go? Yeah, really guarding the way. You know, very intelligent, very deliberate in their method of defense. She starts at the top of the stairs. I'm assuming she with the name. I don't actually know. Starts at the top of the stairs, and the puppets spawn in. And then she stands back and uses arrows. So very deliberate. There is something here that she doesn't want us to see. And summoned a ball of magic. That is, what's that spell from Dark Souls 3? You get it from one of the, you get it from another person who works at a study hall. Cool. Kind of like a silver mask I'm seeing. Oh, where'd they go? All right, all the way up there. What is it that they don't want us to know? What is this place hiding? Where'd they go? Oh, all the way up there, okay. Alright, what do we have here? Carian Glintstone Blade. Glintstone Staff. Actually, I think that's our second Carian Staff. Let me double check. Which one did we pick up? This is the Carian Glintstone Staff. And this is the Glint Blade Staff. This was found on the lookout tower with the Twin Sorcerer Sage, who was also working with puppets. Gifted to enchanted knights and enhances glint blade sorceries. One of the two types of Carian staves with blue glintstone. This is given to sorcerers that they might enact the role of a knight. Ah, okay. Enhances Carian sword sorceries. So the Carian knights are casting these spells. And the Carian sorcerers are casting these spells. So the knights... So the sorcerers are kind of mimicking knights with swords, and then the knights are like mimicking more knights. Where do we get magic glint blade from? Oh yeah, we purchased magic glint blade from Muriel. This is a prototype, an old sorcerer of the Carian family, indicating that Muriel is very old. He knows some ancient secrets. That's also, the prisoner starts with that spell, but we'll talk about the prisoner when we find his armor. I'm running low on flasks. I should probably shield. Okay. Very cool. Area denial. Wow, they can teleport while they're charging that up? That's pretty cool. Oh, goodness. That does a lot of damage. I thought the magic would... I thought the shield would block more of that. Alright, I just have to be really aggressive. It's tough with the What? No freaking way! Oh my god! Jeez, Miriam! My rune arc! Oh my goodness. Holy crap. I got freaking sliced and diced. That wasn't cool. Damn. That sucks. Well, that's later. Maybe that was the issue. Gosh. I got rocked and rolled by that dude. Should I use my... This do... No, it's not. My poor rune arc. Man, I didn't know Miriam could do that. Do I have anything else that, like... I could use this one, boost magical damage resistance. Do I need... If I... Okay, maybe we'll go with... we will go with the rapier. And we'll do... How much magic does this block? Which one has the highest magic? Brass. And I kind of like using Order's Blade. Okay, let's try again. Man, I got my socks freaking rocked by that dude. Alright, what are you hiding, buddy? What's the lore you got on you? Look at me, I'm a knight. It's not as much damage, but I think it's safer. Oh, I guess while I'm fighting Miriam, I wanted to say that a comment from my last video was like kind of like complaining about my like writing issues, and I what do you call it? I think it's really just like writer's block, and you know, because I try to make everything I make to be creative, and like all my scripted content, I want it to be creative and unique and tell a story. Like I don't like just doing lore. Like you guys see my stuff, you know I like to do like type of storytelling going on. And I think my issue was I didn't know how to like what my ending was going to be. Like what am I building towards? So how do I get it? Like how do I get all those threads together so it's like flows really nicely? And the first, I figured out like the framing. Oh, I figured out the framing I wanted for. No. No, 8,000 runes. No. Don't look at me. I figured out the framing that I wanted to do for like a upcoming batch of videos that I'm like really excited. So the first video that I'm writing, and the script is coming along, it's really strong. Like I did 50%, or at least I did a lot of the heavy lifting, and it's under 4,000 words, which like feels really good. Like the script so far is under 4,000 words, and it's covering prophecy, the first one that I've decided so far. First one's prophecy. But how I've decided to structure it, and I think this is where my issue was coming from, is, you know, there's so many threads between Shadow of the Erd Tree and like just regular Elden Ring. I want to kill these guys for some runes, because since I lost 2,000, I lost 8,000, I got 2,000 for going up there, so if I do this again, I should get around, I'll have 4,000. We need all the runes we can get in this run, because, you know, we're not leveling up like we should be. So the first half of the video, of the prophecy video, is dealing with the prophecy of burning the Erd Tree, and essentially how I think that prophecy, how you could say, would be manufactured. Okay, this is this is kind of extra mimic commentary stuff. This is not part of the theorizing. Just giving you an update on the creative process. And what I've kind of discovered while writing is it's very hard to find mimics in Shadow of the Erd Tree. It's really hard to do mimic hunting in Shadow of the Erd Tree. And I think that's on purpose. There might not be many mimics there. So I have the video structured into two different halves. So the first half is we pick a topic or concept and we look at its we look at how it works within the base game. And we build our narrative, we build our story, and then we do the big reveal. What did Shadow of the Erd Tree show us that changes our perspective? Now, I got my own theorizing, and I'm not going to be doing, I talk from my perspective. No one's talking about prophecy in Elden Ring, maybe Nameless Singer with her Fate videos, but no one uses prophecy in Elden Ring like I do. I think that might be my that's my niche, you could say. And what is crazy about Shadow of the Erd Tree is, Elden Ring, we started as the prophet class. There is a very overt prophecy that the game tells you. There we go. We'll go back to theorizing after I mention this. Magic Downpour. That's going to be exciting to learn about. We learn about the burning of the Erd Tree. We pick the prophet class. We know the prophecy exists. But Shadow of the Erd Tree and the rest of Elden Ring doesn't mention any other prophecies. We found the oracles in the what do you call it? The Claymen in the Ancient Dynasty. They are looking for oracles in their bubbles, and they served as priests. So that means, even in the Ancient Dynasty, if they have oracles, they have prophecy of the future. The Carians are... Is it the Carians? What is it? What is our... Wait, how do I change my... Oh, here we go. No! I want to look at the telescope. Carian astrology withered on the vine, the fate once writ in the night skies. And we know from the... So this is kind of hybrid mimic commentary, hybrid upcoming stuff. From the astrologer hood, they read fate in the stars. So the Carians are looking at fate and destiny and the future and things like that. But we don't get any other prophecies that are named within Elden Ring. But once you know that there are prophecies, you have to start looking for them. What are the prophecies that people believe? Well, by looking at the events that happened, we could see what the future is. We're towards the end of the timeline for Elden Ring. And you can hear the chandeliers jingling. We're at the end of the timeline for Elden Ring. So we can figure out what the prophecies are by looking at our pictures, paintings, depictions of things, showing something that's to come, something that's already been, something that they thought would be. So a lot of cool stuff there. And I think we can put on that. So what did we pick up? Golden Rune 4. Do we already have Golden Rune 4s? Yeah, we're up to 7. This one's interesting. Even now, runes are still imbued with the power of life itself. Do you see the Erd Tree towering over? How would you not be able to see the Erd Tree? Is it an illusion? Okay, what was our Magic Downpour? One of the sorceries of the Carian royal family. Okay, so Preceptor Miriam is allied with the Carians and is protecting this study hall, possibly protecting the transgressions of the princess who orchestrated the Night of Black Knives, which led to the murder of Godwyn the Golden, which led to the creation of Deathroot. So are the Carians all tied up in the plot to assassinate Godwyn? So far, Carians are Radon, who fought against Melania. And looks like he fought the Fell Omen in the beginning in the intro slideshow. And there's also Rykard, who is Blasphemous and Serpentine. Well, if he's Blasphemous, he's against the Erdtree. Don't know where Radon stands. Well, he fights against Melania, but we don't know what they're in Caelid, which is very far from the Erdtree. He must have come from the capital. Yeah, Melania's chasing after him. And if he fought, well, we don't know where he fought Margit. But Radon's in Caelid, which is over here. Gondrick was here. We don't know where Rykard is. We're looking for Ronnie in this area of Liurnia, and Renala's here. So it looks like maybe the whole Carian royal family is tied up in the plot for the Knight of the Black Knives. And okay, and the Preceptor, who is summoning puppets of aristocrats, who has a noble there's a ghost of a noble sorcerer out front talking about the transgressions of princess. Looks like the Carians, maybe the whole family involved in the Knight of the Black Knives. One of the sorceries of the Carian royal family is Magic Downpour. Summons a mass of magic that fires projectiles over a wide area. This sorcery can be cast while in motion. Charging extends duration. Said to have been taught by the Crystalians to mark the swearing of an old concord. Oh, that's very interesting. So, concord, that's an agreement. It's a pact. It's, you know, it's... Oh, it's a rat. My Raja's rapier isn't cutting it anymore. It's not cutting it like it used to. Where was I at? Taught by the Carians and the Crystalians have an old concord together. Our other mention of the Crystalians, and we don't know who the Crystalians are. We have Crystal Barrage and Crystal Burst. Crystal Burst was dropped by the Demi-Human Queen in the Weeping Peninsula. We also got her staff, which says Glintstone staff styled as a scepter, a gift once given to the demi-humans to foster peace. It can be wielded even by those of low intelligence, sneered at fools at by the Academy. So fools at the Academy aren't researching the intelligence of demi-humans. And what spell do they teach them? They taught them Crystal Burst. Crystal Burst is one of the Glintstone sorcerers of the Academy, so someone from the Academy, not from the Carians. A sorcery of the Crystal Cadre, a group of sorcerers who pursued the wisdom of stone, the secrets locked in the faint cognition of the Crystalians. Where'd we get Crystal Barrage from? Crystal Barrage comes from... Sorcerer Selen sells it. So Sorcerer Selen looks like she's part of the Crystal Cadre, which is a group at the Academy studying the Crystalians. But the Carians have a concord, an old concord with the Crystalians. So old that the Crystalians are teaching the Carians magic. So the Academy is studying the Crystalians. They're trying to unlock the wisdom of stone, the secrets locked behind their faint cognition. So they don't really understand the Crystalians. But the Carians have an alliance with the Crystalians, and that alliance is so strong that the Crystalians are teaching the Carians magic. So, okay. How did the Crystalian... So the Carians are tied to this plot of the Knight of Black Knives. The murdering of Godwin the Golden, the working with the Black Knife assassins, the moon is hiding the transgressions of the princess, and this creates Deathroot. Deathroot, as we're assuming, since souls can't get to the Erdtree, Deathroot is killing the Erdtree. Most likely the event that ended... wait a minute. What? Huh? Is that guy upside down? Wait, is that guy upside down? Wait a second. The hell? Why are they... There's a staircase, but it's upside down. How are you supposed to get up there? Uh-oh. All right, so this... You know, we were already talking. Is that a dead rat or a rat that fell there? We were talking about how maybe the Carians might be mimics, you know. Their sigil reflects the Crystalian, the night sorcery sigil. And their tower, the Carian Study Hall, is mirrored too. It's flipped. Look, it's flipped. It's a mirror. It also has water. It's flowing water here. And if we think about flowing water, we should also think about the dancer in blue who had a flowing sword granted onto a blind swordsman. This was found in High Road Cave, which is underground, tied to the stone golems. So maybe the Carians are tied to these ancient legends of fairies. A blue fairy. I mean, blue makes sense. This is like the place is like, you know, if we look at our flask, our blue cerulean flask, you know, that does magic. Outside was blue flowers. So, and this has water in here. Oh, where we got the, in the High Road Cave, that's where we found the Shamshir with the silver sword, the Samshir. Let's see if we can see it better. Let's put a glowstone down. So the Shamshir was found in High Road Cave, and that was like a underwater, like there was a sanctum kind of like this where flowing water was coming through. And this weapon has spinning slash, which is, and the attack is like a flowing sword. Look at that. The sword is flowing. Like this is very, look at those heavy attacks. Yeah, very, very, very artistry in there. Skilled swordsman. Do we see anything interesting on the... And it looks like, you know, we were talking about the eternal connection. It looks like it has lily motifs. And in Shifa River, we saw the lily motif was all over that, like, black, like, obsidian-style stuff. So, yeah, Carians look like they might be tied to the Blue Dancer, which would make sense. You know, blue. All right. It looks like we're not going to be able to go any further into the study hall. But what is our reward for journeying through? The Cerulean Seed Talisman. Well, wait. Before we think, we got our flask of Cerulean Tears. Okay. Filled with Cerulean Tears that restores FP. We enhance these with golden seeds. Golden seeds and sacred tears make our flask better. Do we have any golden seeds on us? Yes, we do. When the Elden Ring was shattered, these seeds flew from the Erd Tree, scattering across the various lands as if life itself knew that it had come to an end. So Erd Tree's golden seeds come from the Erd Tree after the Elden Ring is shattered. Okay. Cerulean Seed Talisman. A cerulean-colored talisman patterned after an Erd Tree seed? The Erd Tree was once perfect and eternal, and thus was believed that Erd Tree seeds could not exist. And I could see why Miriam... Okay, I'm seeing why Miriam had this place sealed up, why they're guarding it. So, oh, the rat didn't die, or never was dead. The Carians know that the Erd Tree was not eternal. These moon worshippers know that the Erd Tree was not eternal. It was believed to be eternal, and that Erd Tree seeds could never exist, but the Carians knew. And where do Erd Tree seeds come from? Well, golden seeds come from destroying or shattering the Elden Ring. And the catalyst for shattering the Elden Ring was the Knight of Black Knives. That's what Roger told us. And Radagon, if these are Radagon statues, I mean, they have to be. Radagon was married. It doesn't even have to be his statues. We just know Radagon was married to Renala. He should have access to all of this knowledge, all these books, all this learning. He comes from the capital. He marries into this moon-worshipping family. He thinks he brings the Erd Tree and the moon together. And then what does he learn? That Erd Tree seeds, I don't even know how to put this out. So you come from a religion, you come from a place, and you think your golden tree is eternal. It's going to exist forever. The age of, you're living up the age of plenty. Dew and sap is dripping from the boughs, and we think this is going to happen forever. Forever. It's going to happen forever. And then during that time, people are getting amber medallions. You know, this is prized. Godfrey's Elden Lord. Things are looking good. And then you marry into this moon family. They don't worship the Erd Tree. They worship the moon. And they know things that no one else knows. They have a pact with the Crystalians. The people at the Academy can't even get can't even figure out what's going on with the Crystalians. They're trying to experiment on demi-human queens to figure out what's going on with the Crystalians. But the Crystalians and the Carians have an old concord together. One so old that the Crystalians are teaching sorceries to the Carians. You join this family. Radagon joins this family and learns that the Erd Tree was once perfect and eternal. He learns that the Carians, I don't know how to put this, like he learns that the Carians have these beliefs or just these knowledge that the Erd Tree is not perfect and eternal, that there are seeds. It was believed that Erd Tree seeds couldn't exist. But they can. Golden seeds. And the Carians read faith in the stars, right? The fate once written in the night sky, fettered by the Golden Order. So were the Carians looking up in the night sky, and that's how they learned that the Erd Tree wasn't eternal? That it wasn't perfect? That if you were to shatter the Elden Ring, you could create seeds? Is that why the moon, the wisdom of the moon and the stars, is obscuring forever the transgressions of the lunar princess? Was Ronnie trying to destroy, not just kill Godwyn in the Night of Black Knives? Was she trying to create Deathroot to enable the collapse of the Erd Tree Empire? Does Radagon have anything to do with it? You know, the mystery continues to this day why Marika would choose... Oh, hey, he's invisible. Trying to hide secrets? Oh, he disappears in golden dust. Oh, he casts Academy spells. Yeah, so he's from the capital, and he disappears in gold, but... He disappears in gold, but he casts sorcery spells. That's interesting. So yeah, totally a dude associated with Radagon, definitely, right? I don't know, like, was Renala okay with Radagon leaving for Marika because she wanted him to take down the Erd Tree? Like, did Radagon, like, have a change of heart? Like, did he go from a, what do you call it? From a Erd Tree worshiper to a moon worshiper, and then he gets to go back to the capital as Elden Lord, and he thinks, like, maybe I could take this whole thing down? Like, is he involved? Is he involved in the Night of Black Knives? Like, is he involved? He could be. We don't know. We have no idea. Who's to say? We're gonna have to figure that out. Like, what's going on there? Well, right across the way from the study hall is this well. The same type of well that brings you down to Shifa River. Well, that's going to be next episode. I think we learned a lot. We did a lot of insane theorizing in the study hall. Did a lot of studying, did a lot of learning. For some reason, the study hall does not want us to get to the Divine Tower. There's something on the Divine Tower they don't want us to see. Well, that'll have to wait. Until next time, everybody, let's do the thing.